Canelo Alvarez just shattered every record with a jaw-dropping $250 million Netflix deal, and the entire boxing industry is in chaos. Promoters are in full panic mode.
And I can't wait. I can't wait. Thank you.
And question for Canelo, you've been on the winning end of many historic performances. What will stand out this Saturday night against your performance against Terence Crawford?
You've been on the winning end of many fights in your life. How will this one stand out from all the others?
Oh, no, this fight for me is big.
Canelo Alvarez just stopped being boxing's biggest star. He became boxing's biggest business. A Netflix deal, a media company built with the people who made Formula One a global phenomenon, his own promotional banner, his own fight card, and a fight date on September 12th with an opponent so significant they're keeping it a secret. The traditional promoters who built careers controlling fighters like Canelo are watching every lever they ever had disappear, one announcement at a time. By the end of this video, you'll understand
lifetime matchup. Undisputed and Ring Magazine's super middleweight titles are on the line in one of the biggest fights in the history of the sport. Up first, one of the best boxers on the planet looks to make his biggest statement. A perfect 41-0 with 31 knockouts. He is a 4-division world champion and the first ever male 2-division undisputed champion of the 4.
If you clicked this video, you already know Canelo Alvarez has been the biggest financial force in boxing for the better part of a decade. Most people think this story is simple. Saudi money floods boxing, Canelo gets paid, business as usual at the top of the sport. That is not what this is. What Canelo has done over the past 18 months through a $400 million fight deal, a Netflix documentary partnership, a new media company, and the launch of his own promotion is not a fighter collecting a final payday. It is a 4-division world champion systematically removing every middleman who ever stood between him and his money. This video breaks down 3 things. First, the deal structure that left every traditional promoter in the sport without a response. Second, the Netflix and media empire Canelo is now building, and why the people he chose to build it with changes everything. And third, what September 12, 2026 actually represents, not just as a fight card, but as a statement about who controls the future of the sport. To understand why the boxing world is reacting the way it is, you have to understand where Canelo stood at the start of 2025. $5 million for years, building career earnings of over $600 million, tied at number 27 among the highest paid athletes in history alongside George Foreman. He was also, by early 2025, approaching a crossroads. Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions had promoted him for years. His previous landmark deal, a reported $365 million 11-fight contract with DAZN signed in 2018, had ended in a lawsuit, with Canelo suing DAZN and De La Hoya for breach of contract and seeking $280 million in damages. Then Jake Paul came along. Negotiations for a May 2025 fight on Netflix in Las Vegas were progressing. ESPN confirmed the deal was being finalized. Posters were being designed. And then Turki Al-Sheikh made his move. And this is where the story gets complicated. Now, most people covered Canelo's Riyadh season deal as a straight rejection of Jake Paul. Saudi money beats Netflix, move on. But here's what they missed. The deal itself rewrote the economics of boxing in a way that every traditional promoter in the sport has been scrambling to respond to ever since. Canelo signed a 4-fight deal reportedly worth $400 million. That is $100 million per fight, guaranteed. Not dependent on pay-per-view buys, not dependent on gate revenue, guaranteed regardless of performance. Because Riyadh season is not in the business of selling PPVs. They are in the business of buying global attention for Saudi Arabia's entertainment economy. To put that in context, Canelo's previous typical fight payday was $35 to $45 million. The new floor was more than double that. And per a breakdown in Sportico, partner doesn't need to split anything. The promoter's phone stops ringing. But that's not even the most important part of this story. And this is where the real story, the one that has traditional promoters in genuine long-term panic, finally comes into full view. Because Canelo didn't stop at the fight deal. In March 2026, Canelo announced a partnership with Box to Box Films to launch Canelo Media, a full content production company covering boxing, sport, and lifestyle. If you don't know Box to Box Films, here is why that matters. They made Formula One Drive to Survive for Netflix. They turned Formula One from a niche motorsport into Netflix. Canelo's own quote at the announcement, "I've always believed in working alongside the best in their fields, and with Box to Box, I've found the right partner to do just that." This is not a fighter licensing his name to a production company. This is a fighter building the infrastructure to tell his own story, on his own terms, to his own audience. The Netflix documentary layer confirms the scope. Netflix announced a feature-length documentary on Canelo's preparation for the GGG trilogy, produced by Unanimous Media, the company co-founded by NBA champion Stephen Curry. It is part of Netflix's 2026 Mexico slate, announced at a press event in Mexico City where Netflix boss Terence Crawford confirmed the streamer would spend $1 billion on Mexican original content over 4 years. And then there is Canelo Promotions. Launched officially for his September 12, 2026 return, the new promotional banner puts Canelo for the first time on both sides of the table. He is the fighter and the promoter. He controls the card, he controls the undercard, he controls the brand. Under the previous system, Golden Boy took the promotional percentage, Matchroom or PBC took their piece. Under Canelo Promotions, Canelo takes all of it. But here's what nobody is connecting, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here is the twist that reframes everything about why the panic in boxing right now is not overblown. Canelo Alvarez is 35 years old. He lost his undisputed super middleweight titles to Terence Crawford in September 2025. He had elbow surgery in October. Crawford retired in December. And yet, from that position, Canelo did not shrink. He did not take a soft comeback fight on a promoter's terms. He did not let Golden Boy rebuild him. He did not let Matchroom or PBC position him as their attraction. He launched 3 interconnected businesses in the span of 4 months: a Saudi-backed fight deal, a Netflix media company with Drive to Survive producers, and his own promotional banner. The man who lost his undisputed crown returned as a media executive. And here is what makes the September 12 event more than just a comeback. Mexico against the world is being described by Al-Sheikh as a big, big, big fight, with a mystery opponent fighting for a world title. The super middleweight belts are vacant after Crawford's retirement. Canelo is the most recognizable name in the division. The first event under Canelo Promotions, his brand, his event, his terms, is being built around a title fight with an unknown opponent designed to generate maximum speculation and anticipation. That is a Drive to Survive move. Generate the storyline before the product even arrives. For a sport that has struggled for decades to tell its own stories at scale, where individual fights come and go without narrative continuity, Canelo has just imported the model that turned F1 into the world's fastest-growing sport. The promoters panicking right now are not panicking because Canelo is rich. They are panicking because Canelo just figured out something they never did. The story is worth more than the fight. Here's where we land. Canelo Alvarez built his career inside a system that took enormous percentages of everything he made. He sued DAZN and Oscar De La Hoya for $280 million. He watched Saudi money rewrite the guarantee structure. He signed the biggest deal in boxing history, lost his titles, had surgery, and then spent 4 months rebuilding, not as a fighter, but as a media company. The Netflix partnership, the Box to Box Films deal, Canelo Promotions, September 12, a secret opponent, a world title fight, his own promotional banner, his story, his platform. Every traditional promoter in boxing is looking at this and doing the math, and the math doesn't work in their favor anymore. The model that kept promoters essential has been replaced by Saudi guarantees and streaming platforms, and the fighter